commence the open forum. We have representatives from various government departments, experts in the field, and representatives from industry and academic institutions who will be sharing their insights and knowledge with us today. I hope this open forum will be informative and insightful, and I encourage you all to actively participate in the discussions. Veeradaghavan, retired professor, IIT Madras, to chair the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. I think I'll be able to see everybody if I stand. That's why I'm standing here. I think there are a number of questions. The object for this forum is not find faulting with anybody. Object is learning in the process. As I said earlier, neither the speaker nor the audience know the perfect solution to FDR. We are learning in the process. So I would like the participants to respond to some of the questions. I have questions being posed by different organizations, different participants. So I would like you to respond. Maybe at the end we can try to summarize. Perhaps Shalini will be able to summarize and then share with you the findings or understanding of the FDR in construction. To pose the first question, how do you select a project for FDR? Is the first question which I am posing. I think those who are associated with the FDR project selection can respond on what basis they selected a candidate project for FDR. I request somebody to, yeah. That's what I told. The number of questions have been received. Full form, we have received a number of questions, but I am adding my own questions on. I want to take it in a logical sequence. So I wanted the first question to the selection. How do you select the projects as a candidate project for FDR when FDR is not the only rehabilitation alternative? Many are possible. On what basis did you select? I think maybe that Murali can tell about 9 projects. How did you select the 9 projects? I don't know.
Actually, KIIFB has selected almost 26 projects with the criteria is CBR should be above 5, with MSA below 10, with no much of gradient correction required for the road, and there are no rock surface on the roads, means exposed rock surface within 30 centimeter of the crest. So that is not possible with FDR. So that was a criteria, and there are no drainage issues on the roads. These are the selection criteria we are selecting, means for the selection of roads. If it is passing everything, means we will select it for FDR.
Why FDR alone for
No, actually, we have done a pilot project for FDR, and even after 4 years, it is in good condition. So we have faith in FDR. That is why we have selected FDR.
It's okay. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah, you selected projects based on some criteria. Yeah, okay, give the. We'll come back to it. We'll let them answer first, then we'll come to the counter question. I think we'll see from UPRRD how they selected the projects.
In UP, we had a problem of higher cost. That was the first reason for FDR. And that time we were not having sufficient time to do the research for the other specifications, and we got the details of this FDR technology, and we prepared a bunch of the packages in technology. And after framing the packages, we came to know that we could save around 15 to 20% in cost. So that was the only main criteria for taking FDR.
Okay, fine. Huh?
Yeah, average cost for 5.5 meter.
Because conventional design is what? When you said the cost is high, compared to what?
But what was the conventional design and what is the...
I'm telling. Actually, initially in conventional, we proposed G2, G3, and PC. And for 5.5 meter width, actually we were having most of the roads of width of 3 or 3.75, and we were making it to 5.5. So additional cost of the WBM was very high in cartage is very high in UP, and that was the only cost. Average cost was coming around 1.35, 135 lakhs per kilometer for 5.5, whereas average cost of FDR is around 1 crore. Yesterday I gave 92 for certain width and 1.04 for 5.5 certain roads.
Thank you. I think they wanted to have a combination or a compromise between bringing in new material for the widened portion vis-a-vis making use of the shoulder material as a component of the FDR, and hence they worked out the cost. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
As an industry, we have done 50 kilometers in Maharashtra, and the reason for choosing FDR has been distress call. Like in monsoons, if a road has broken and a highway has gone down 14 kilometers or 10 kilometers, we receive distress call that this road has broken and can you fix it? The people are suffering. And there you don't get time to do the gradation or the study or pit. You have to go and fix it and reclaim it again with the 5-year DLP. So as far as Maharashtra is concerned, all the roads which have been taken, and in fact the highways which have been done up by the alternative technologies or the conventional technologies time and again, and they have failed because there is a black cotton soil in the subgrade and it sinks. And the junior engineer and deputy engineer say that every time we put in a GSB and WMM, probably it sinks and you may find 40 meters of that drainage layer below it. In such cases, FDR, and we have proven it. So now it is being proven for last 5 years that in case of emergency where the road is to be, and where there is a water problem, you do FDR, stabilize it, it makes it water resistant, and it will survive 5 years. At least, I'm talking about 15 years, but we have examples of 5 years.
Okay.
Bituminous layer is, sir, either you can put a CC layer, you can leave it in monsoons without any wearing course. Post monsoon, you apply a wearing course. In DBM BC, for a highway, when it is, where is 130, 90 plus 40 is usual cross section, you put 50 and 40. And for CC, you can put PQC directly, you don't need DLC.
Any question from anybody on the project selection from anybody?
Sir, I'm SK of Tamil Nadu. I have a question. Like in most of the roads in Tamil Nadu, we require only base and top layer actually. So whether it is feasible,
Not required. That's not simple.
and even though even at lower layers, even SIDEX or RBI, they are claiming they can provide those layers with 100 mm at 100. Then above that, just this bituminous layer. Is it comparable with this FDR or not?
Somebody should be from Zydex should be here now. Yeah. Please answer this question. Yeah.
Pardon, ma'am?
Yeah.
No, you were like 100 mm layer of FTR, any 100 mm layer of your technology,
Okay.
plus BT you're providing.
Fine.
How will you compare with FDR?
Actually, ma'am, like that thickness we have designed it for conventional soil stabilization. We have given that one. But coming to the FDR part, again we have to do that sampling and designing. We have to do, ma'am. We have not claimed that 100 mm only with for the FDR. We have not claimed.
So the question is whether FDR is required or not is the first question.
Yes.
If required only, then you go to Zydex or anything else.
Yes.
So you first fix the problem whether it is FDR is required. That's all question. The answer to your question is no. Okay, we'll go to the next question. So now that everybody has told about we have to take samples at 500, 750, 1 per kilometer. Shalini is here. Yeah. She has also tested samples. You tell what you have done in the sample, variation in sample. Come here. So now that when there is a variation in gradation, you got different samples. What are the variations that you found? How do you decide the sample size for FDR? Tell. You,
Actually, we took samples for every 1 kilometer. We did not take for 2 kilometers. We took 1 pitch, and then we did gradation for the pavement layer. separately as well as, except for the PC layer, the WBM layer as well as the soil, we did gradation. Then for the soil, we did all the soil classification as well as the plastic.
Now you
At
tell
the-
about the variation between the samples and finally,
Yeah, I'm
how
coming
did you
to that.
zoom out? Yeah.
So first I'll tell what we did,
Uh.
then where we found the variable. So we did test on the soil samples as well as the WBM samples. We did the gradation and we found that for some stretches it remained the same, whereas for stretches where there was some earlier drainage issues or some distresses where there the gradation was changing because already there were some kind of bleeding or some kind of particles were missing because there was already some distresses. So in those locations, the gradation did not follow the same for different pits. But for some locations, we got the same identical soil as well as the gradation. Then we did compaction. So
You answer the question. What are the final gradation that you adopted when sample 1, 3, 8 are one, 2, 4, 6, 7 are another? What are the gradation that for the project road?
we have an upper limit and a lower limit as per the NRDA guideline. So we made sure that it is coming inside that.
Okay.
That is the gradation.
So you mixed everything and made only one gradation.
We did separately.
Okay.
We did separately.
What are the final recommended gradation?
Between the upper and the lower limit.
So all the samples followed within the limit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all final over. Okay. Now, I'm coming to Shyam. He only told that in his presentation sample should be taken. You answered that.
What is that?
How do you sample when you said that every 1 kilometer to be taken? He said that every 500 meters to be taken. I got 10 kilometers, 10 samples. That's a variation.
Yeah.
So there should be 10 job mix formula, or there should be few sample job mix formula. That's the question many have asked.
So ideally speaking, what you have to look for is the variability that you are coming across. And looking at the standard deviation and mean, you can estimate the number of samples that can actually be taken around.
Now, how do you decide that when there is a variation in the gradation, one may be 53 millimeter above, one may be 75 micron below, there can be a variation.
Right.
In that case, how do you decide kilometer 1 to 3 is one sample? So again, constructability issue also to be considered.
Constructability issues there.
Yes.
That is one thing that we need to seriously work with.
Right.
And make sure that if you're going to have a sample like every mixed design every 500 meters, practically it is not going to be something that is workable. That is quite large that what we are seeing. And apart from that, if you want to go, the sample is falling outside of that particular limit, then at least at this point of time, we don't have enough information to figure out what is the allowable variability that you can go with. I mean, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but that I would say that it is a research problem at this time as to till what point it is going to be acceptable.
Okay, fine. Thanks. I think Vishnu can answer that question. He has done a sampling, he can answer that.
Variability in terms of how your fine particles vary more, that actually influences your cement addition. Initially you check into the variability, what you see in the gradation and the PI of the fines. So if you take say 1, 2, 3, 4 number of pits and see among those pits how it varies. If it varies significantly, carry out mixed designs in the development of JMF initially. See whether your cement content is varying significantly. Then you come to a selected JMF. That is my point.
Okay, I think he has worked on that. Who is the CET, Anil student? Yeah, your student was there. She wanted to learn. Huh?
Sir, are you
No,
referring about
research problem? The Shyam told that it's a research problem.
Sir, are you talking about confidence levels or is it that?
That's what he said that. Yeah.
You go to the field.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now how?
Yeah.
Yes. Every point you get a different sample. What will you do?
That's what. Yeah.
Whatever sample you do is something different.
Can you tell?
Sir, initially.
Yeah.
Sir, what we did is when we noticed that to meet any assumed or hypothetical existing gradation, if 30% material has to be borrowed, and if the existing crust can be strengthened with only 2 layers of WBM, then FDR is not an feasible alternative in any terms. Because as you rightly said, when we are collecting the sample, 10 feet above or in the front, there could be WBM layer. 10 feet next, there cannot be a WBM layer, only granular layer could be there. So this is the distress. Widen that road also.
Yeah.
The issue here is that we have to use the material at the same size.
Same site, yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the method which you suggest to the engineers?
What is the method you the engineers? Realistic method.
Yes, when they use the existing material without need for 30% corrective aggregates to meet any gradation, then FTR could be feasible.
About the cement content and all.
The cement control and all, we will be using the additional material. They have to determine that.
Sir, as per the specification, we collect the material and do the gradation analysis. Okay. And at all these points, the gradation analysis satisfies the requirement. Then we can do continuously. There's no problem. But if 1 kilometer to another kilometer, that change comes, then we have to adopt the different design. Change, but as one of the person pointed out, the range of the gradation is very high. For each sieve size, for each size, sieve size, the range is very high. Right, it's already high. The range specified is high. So mostly it will satisfy the requirement.
Would like to. That's what I feel. Excuse me, sir. What the object of this is that we should be able to tell the practice engineers how they should group the road projects into one. That's all final objective. Yeah.
So, I mean, just thinking through it, let us say you have a 1 kilometer stretch and you take, or a 10 kilometer stretch, you take 10 or 15 samples randomly to begin with. Let us just go with the mean value of all those things, what gradation that you are getting, and then go for a 1.96 times the standard deviation thing, so that there is a 95% confidence level in the sampling. So if whatever that falls within that bracket, I would take that as something that is representative. Every section falling in that place, I can think of it as a representative one. And if there is something that is beyond that, outside of that limit, that would be a different mix design that I would look for.
I would like to add one point here. I would like, sir, what I feel is first, the way we decide the depth of FDR, we also need to fix the length of the FDR. So up to what length we need to do this FDR? And in my mind, since from the yesterday, after watching all the presentation, presume that all these studies are focused towards rural roads. In that case,
No, here they're not national highway also.
national highway.
Yeah.
In that case, I mean, again, it depends on in national highway, the pavement core thickness is so high, right? So we'll be using, premium quality materials. So, yeah.
I was about to say that sir, in whatever roads we have attended to have failed primarily because of issue of subgrade or water drainage issues. Whoever has monitored those roads whenever they were constructed, I don't think they kept their eyes closed. So finding every 1 kilometer variation is one-off case. More or less, we find a uniform gradation within a band, acceptable bandwidth. We don't find that if a 10-kilometer road is there, there are 10 different gradations. Otherwise, the PWD and these departments have been surviving for so long. It becomes a CAG issue. A vigilance will come that what the earlier people have done. So it doesn't, we don't find into that.
That's exactly for the PMGSY road also, we have guidelines. When PMGSY NRIDA that time, they have a continuous monitoring. We cannot expect there is a compromise at the design level or construction level. Maybe there may be some exceptional cases, but all those roads, most of the percentage of these roads have been designed, constructed. So that way, the failure road will be shorter length. The shorter length needs to be done for FDR.
Okay, fine, that's fine. I think finally, whatever that has been buried will be reflected in the form of distresses on the pavement. If your soil is different, if your pavement layers are different, if the traffic level is different, the distresses will be different. So to go as a thumb rule, what I may suggestion at this point of time is that you group the section based on the distresses. If you can say payment condition index. We have got in IRC 82 tells about the payment condition index, how to work it out. So if you find that there is a variation in the soil, if there's a variation in the payment condition index, variation subgrade soil, then group them into one section. Whatever variation that you get, then try to do a mixed design for that generalized gradation that you adopt. This may be my, at this point of time, the suggestion, we'll move forward. The next move, wait, I'll come to the point. If you want to, what is that you want to tell? Yeah, tell. Yeah, tell that.
Being a service provider, what suggestion which I can.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
On the service provider side, there is one option.
There is one option which we want to, submit. Working out different design mix for different areas for FDR being difficult for the, authority engineers. Like,
no, they don't do it.
okay.
Engineers don't do it.
Okay, that's why.
They go to a third party.
That's why. That's why we are also a third party.
That's what
So we are telling, why don't you float this tender as a EPC or a HAM for us to submit our design to satisfy all your ports?
No, that is not acceptable. I will not agree with that. It has to be a third party. Yeah.
Sir, Professor Isaac, sir, what we did, I will just try to present, see whether that works. When we collected the samples, okay, we established the existing materials gradation, whatever it was varying. Either it was varying from 50 mm or 70 mm or 4.5 mm and all within the selected project. For that, considering the maximum size of the aggregate present in that project section and considering some gradation concepts to arrive at a well-graded gradation, we have arrived at a gradation. Now, with considering the variation of the material, I have some particular gradation trend of the existing material. For that, now I will try to blend with additional material required to meet my uniform gradation. If that aggregate additional material required is more than 20 or 30%, then FDR may not be feasible. So in turn, what I'm telling is, if the existing payment gradation is more or less uniform, so then FDR would work.
That's an incidental question with respect to this. So everybody has been talking about the gradation. What is that gradation that should be met for FDR? Is it CTB or is it FDR of IRC SP83 or is it IIT Guwahati? What should be the gradation for the FDR layer? Vishnu?
Yeah, sir, the gradation what is followed presently is a soil cement aggregate gradation, what is there in the moth. So if we further narrow down that gradation, practically along the length of the road, we may arise at gradation falling out. So the gradation what is provided now is, it actually encompasses a wide range.
No,
So
but
if you
there are
further
now there are three gradations available.
Yeah.
One from the do-it-yourself booklet.
Yeah.
One is a CTB. Third is from the composite payment guidelines, SP83, 83, right? 89. Fourth is IIT Guwahati specifications. Now
So
four are there.
I would
Now
actually
they
go,
have to decide the gradation. Which gradation they should select.
I would actually go for the CTB gradation, which is given in moth, section 403.
So is that's the
Soil
question.
cement
I'm
aggregate
coming back to some question. Is FDR same as CTB?
Sir, let me tell you, in the case of highways, when they go for CTB, they stick on to IRC SP89 gradation.
That is
Gradation
different.
number 2.
Rural roads.
Rural roads, when it comes, the most flexible one would be the gradation that is given in moth 404, soil cement aggregate gradations. Because if you
That is soil without aggregate. That is aggregate. Soil cement.
Soil cement aggregate mixes. Soil cement aggregate mixes. Its NMAS is 53 mm. It's NMAS.
Then you are told that there are WM grade 1 of 75 millimeter also available. Boulders are also available. Then what is to be? And you also told that
not to mill grade 1.
Yes.
Not to mill grade 1.
Yeah.
You have to understand. With different gradation, you can get the same strength.
It's okay. Incidentally, if you want to get the same strength, what is the strength you need?
No, that's right.
That's the next question.
That is the
question
requirement now to be fixed.
I am coming to that point. What should be, and there is also a question from one of the participants. What are the common type of additives used in FDR, and based on the current practice, which additive performing well?
So it is a design.
What the strength that you would recommend for FDR? Yeah.
So for me, if we are going for FDR, inherently it should be complete utilization of the existing material. If we go with any CTB, MORDH and all, it will never work. Whatever is existing, if a gradation which accommodates complete utilization of existing material, that is the one you should adopt. As Professor rightly said, when we optimize the additives and other modification factors, we can easily achieve the target strength.
So what is the target strength that you need?
I will answer that later, sir. Every question.
Which gradation tends to entertain this? Say, Anjan sir, it's all about which gradation, what is presently there, will entertain all these material. In that case, we should only provide control points. We should stick on to control points.
How this ETB and FDR is same?
Sir,
We should stick on to control point. Yeah. Well,
No, ETB and FDR is not.
performance can be different. Performance can be different. Strength can be achieved. Performance can be different.
Proma.
Other than the strength.
In
Tell
terms
me.
of fatigue. In terms of fatigue.
Okay,
fatigue
decide,
strength.
no, decide. Decide on the parameters of design parameters then.
So we don't do that performance based mixed design.
So it is not. So it is
At
an
this point of
empirical.
time, we have
it
only
is-
UCS value.
It
So
is
at this point of-
purely empirical method.
I think there are
No,
many
no.
service providers also, they will say that they'll get a higher UCS value. Right? I just say, what is that you
Sir,
recommend? Based on your strength?
I would like to say,
Yeah, let him tell.
if you really want a good stabilized base, you should have 40 mm or below. You should not have above 40 mm. That is what is my feedback.
Sir, for design purposes, actually we were following IRC SP 89 part 2. SP 89 part 2 is for stabilized bases.
Yeah.
It is not for FDR. It
Yes.
is for stabilized bases with
Yes.
CC, commercial stabilizers. Okay. We were following actually SP 89 part 2. It is suggesting more 403 only.
Yeah.
CTB
Right.
gradation. So we were following that CTB gradation.
Right,
only.
is that appropriate or not? But in the absence of that, we can follow that till we gain confidence in the gradation. Perhaps I think research institution should work and come out with a gradation. The incident question is that the incidental question that arises is that should I add cement and a stabilizer, or cement alone will work so that they say strength? And somebody, service providers should be able to answer that question.
I have discussed it, and one of the professors also mentioned that cement over a period of time will weather away. It would have not existed. Now, having said that, I believe the forum is a little unclear about what FDR is. Just a process. These stabilizers are stabilizing the soil. We are changing the property of the soil. We are making it water resistant and giving it adequate strength. So, to answer your question, cement alone cannot work. It has to have the additive in it to bind it together, and the strength keeps on increasing over the years.
Fine, agreed. I think now Anjan.
They are mentioning about stabilizing the soil, but we don't encounter soil while doing FDR in the case of shallow depth. We are not going for a deeper depth. If there is a problem at the subgrade, then only we go for a deeper FDR. If it is a distress in the surface layer, there is no need to go to till subgrade. So in that case, whether your material, any material which is stabilizes soil, how does it work in the case of aggregates, or in the case of aggregate coated with bitumen, which will be a part of a distressed asphalt material?
No, this comes to the first question which sir has asked. Which road qualifies for full depth reclamation? If there is only a problem with the wearing course.
As a technology provider, you say whichever warrants for subgrade rehabilitation, warrants for FDR?
No, sir. The road which has got a wearing course problem, you do wearing course. You don't have to do FDR. FDR is only when the road is distressed and there are potholes, and you have the conventional method is you consider it as a subgrade and you start building with GSB WMM. Therein you use FDR. But if a road which has only distress with the wearing course, why do you do FDR? You don't need FDR.
Sir,
the term FDR is a distress layer, removal of distress layer, and then bottom of the layer, partial depth of the bottom of the asphalt layer, distress asphalt layer. That is the definition of FDR.
One is recycling, other is FDR, wherein we take the lower layers as well. Now we have to find base of the distress. That's all fine.
So
I think, yeah.
regarding to durability, as you mentioned, but with the various additives, what we have seen is mostly around 90% of the additives require 4% of cement. So I haven't come across any additive which completely replaces cement. First thing. Second thing is, even with cement and the additives, the durability which cement is meeting, the same durability additives are also meeting in a laboratory exercise. And most of the literature existing on the literature body recommends cement.
I would just like to add from an industry's perspective, cement is being used because that is the only dry additive available on a large scale in bulker. If lime is equally expensive or probably more expensive. Otherwise, in certain soils, lime will perform better than cement. We don't need cement necessarily. So we don't need cement per se. As far as I am concerned.
No, question is that should you need cement and stabilizer or cement alone? That's fine.
So in my particular case, I need a source of calcium oxide. Now,
cement alone will not work.
I don't need cement. I can work with lime. I can work with type C fly ash. I can work with lime kiln dust, cement kiln dust. Any source of calcium oxide.
Is stabilizer required or not? Cement
stabilizer
or
is
lime
required.
Or cement alone will be adequate.
Cement, as far as I'm concerned, cement alone.
I'm coming to a question to Shyam. Is cement alone will work or stabilizer is mandatory?
Well,
you also worked extensively on stabilization. You answered the question. In USA or other countries of the world, what is the practice? Yeah.
It is one question that I don't want to answer.
No, you have to answer.
So, see, whether a stabilizer is needed or not, that's a good question. So when I say, for me, to begin with, when I say stabilization, for me, the additive is cement. I say that cement is the additive. Cement is a chemical binding agent that actually comes up and does the work for us. Now, second question along with that is it really needed to have an additional additive along with it?
Yeah.
People have been using that.
That is different.
IRC have been recommending that.
Researcher, as an academician, as a practitioner, your recommendations on the choice.
The reason I would say is that, see, let us just forget that question for a minute.
Yeah.
Let us.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Forget temporarily.
The thing is that, do we? The thing that I'm trying to say here is, unless we have valid, these chemical stabilizers and everything, the additives that we are talking about came into the market 2 years back. Now, they have been an integral part of the system for some reason or the other. IRC, seeing something, actually recommended it. Now, my $1,000,000 question in here would be that there are cases where cement alone has actually taken care of this. Now, I'm nothing against the industry as such for now, because we don't have anything valid in terms of research or in terms of documented evidence, in terms of comparing or rather finding out the improvements that these chemicals are actually bringing in. Whether they are doing something, whether they are not, it is only a matter of time at this point till we have enough data to validate these claims. I mean, that is my research point answer on that. As in, like, say, for example, in a very simple sense, if I say that you give me a soil, I will work on it with cement. I'm going to add increasing percentages of additives onto that, and then I make my samples again. Now, over a period of time, I subject these things to all durability tests, strength test, and everything. And then I say that, hey, look, this particular chemical has given this improvement to my mix when everything else remains the same. That is the perfect kind of a data that you should have to make a claim whether something is working or something is not.
Okay, fine.
Till that moment, I rest my case.
Yeah,
I don't want.
Right, fine.
Excuse me. Actually, my question is to the provider. You are saying your substance, whatever you are adding to aid the capacity of cement, is to address the plasticity being bringing in due to the inclusion of subgrade or whatever being included. When we widen the road for FDR, we are including shoulders. We are going deep, we are including subgrade. So you are addressing the plasticity issues brought in by subgrade inclusion. Then why isn't your dosage based on the plasticity? You are directly going for the dosage based on the binder. The binder is for strengthening the meats, and you are suggesting a dosage directly based on binder. You are not at all bothered about the plasticity of the meats being collected from the field. Why?
See, as I answered what question you are asking is probably more suited for a greenfield or a brownfield project. The roads have failed because of subgrade failure or because of a drainage issue. In that case, you are asking about the plasticity of the soil. Now, whatever soil, all stabilize. See,
I am asking about the plasticity. What do you believe the issue brought in by subgrade or the shoulder material inclusion? My concern is plasticity increasing.
Correct.
My road pavement, my crust doesn't contain any plastic product. So it is safe to be recycled with just additive.
Sir, but let me rephrase this. Say in scenarios where you have soil also coming in the mill material, only when you have soils of high plasticity, where you encounter fines of high plasticity, stabilizer would play the role of reducing the PI. Now, basically the strength is attributed by the cement alone. Now, in projects where your mill material, the fines are having a lower plasticity, stabilizer should not even be coming into picture.
Yes.
Am I correct? That is your point.
My concern is plasticity. What is your concern regarding the
Your stabilizer dosages has to be based on the plasticity of fines.
On the basis of fines, see, I don't think there is any direct correlation or a lab study is to be done for that. But what I would like to say here is all distressed roads, by virtue of the capillary from the subgrade, has 20 to 30% of soil there. It rises because of the vehicular movement. So no distressed road will not have soil. All distressed roads will have soil. And the soils have come up because of the failure of the subgrade and the GSB and WMM, the soil keeps coming up. So yes, capillary. So the more the soil comes up, the more road breaks down. So no distressed road will be without soil. So so that is there.
I think the general point that can come is that the very valid question she posed about the plasticity of soil. Do any of consider this aspect other than finally we boil down to UCS 4.5 to 7? That is the only criteria that we have been adopting, not about reduction in plasticity, not other improvement.
Sir,
we are also not studying whether it is due to subgrade failure or not. In all the project selections, it's all random selections. It's not, there is no scientific investigation carried out to select the project for FDR so far as I know.
If I may submit,
Yeah.
like I did Mumbai-Agra National Highway. The entire stretch was 30 kilometers, but it has failed only at 5 locations. And those 5 locations I attended to. First location was, there was a hill here and a valley, and there was a median and the water coming from hill. So this side of the road is perfect. The other side of the road has failed because of the subgrade water movement towards the valley side. Another one, perfectly leveled road. You can see 2 kilometers this side or maybe half a kilometer, 1 kilometer this side. But you can see the terrain is different. From here, there was a hill 1 kilometer far, and the entire water is coming and flowing down. And so no road will fail without a reason. There has to be a distress point.
That is true. But the question is that how do you decide FDR will work for this? That is the question.
So far,
that is the question.
So far, the roads which came to me, where the people tried conventional.
You have done the FDR. What are the top players for that? Is it the same as in the existing payment or is it different? That is the
So
question which to be asked.
when you do the FDR, or sir, FDR is just a process. I would say when you stabilize, I would use the word stabilization rather than using the word FDR.
Exactly.
So
After that,
FDR
what
is
were the top players?
FDR is just using a recycler and mixing it.
Agreed. What were the top players?
So I will say when I did a 250 MSA road, I did stabilization of 400 mm thick. Above it, I did 50 mm of DBM and 40 BC. Instead of 90 mm of DBM.
Listen.
So when I did a 250 MSA road, I did a stabilization of 400 mm.
How did you decide that 400 mm?
No. traffic spectrum and IITPO validation, sir.
We have reservations and all that.
No,
Let's not debate about that. Let's go into that.
So, sir, I cannot argue with you academically, but we validated with the traffic spectrum and IITPO.
You plug in, you'll get some numbers.
See, they have done is, they have the granular basis, what they had, they have compacted well or stabilized well. Stabilized well. So that is 400 mm. And over that, they have the conventional bituminous.
Alternatively, we did PQC as well, sir.
Yeah.
We did PQC as well in another road.
You want to? Yes, sir. Sir, the basic question is that whether the stabilizer, commercially chemical stabilizer is required or not. Actually, it is required, sir, for nowadays adverse traffic, unforeseen traffic.
That I will not agree.
No, sir.
All that I will not agree with that.
No, sir.
Adverse traffic and all, that's all payment design part.
No, sir.
You tell about this mix,
Yeah,
FDR, stabilized layer,
Okay,
and your product.
Okay, sir.
What is that magic it plays?
Okay, sir. Because
Yeah. What is that cement is doing? What your stabilizer is doing?
Yes, sir.
Can you prove that
Sir.
technically, scientifically?
Yes, sir.
With
Sir.
yeah.
Yeah, sir. I will answer. Because we are using 5 to 6% of cement. The cement is also finer material.
It's adequate. That is adequate.
For basically.
4% is adequate, he says. Why you are 6% on your stabilizer?
No, sir. Even for that matter, 4% cement. Even in the soil also we are having fine particles. To bind that finer particles, even the cement is also very finer. To bond that finer particles,
I will not agree.
and for the
we don't agree with that.
expensivity also. Yeah.
Problem brought in by final particle.
Yeah.
Are you quantifying the final particle? Are you bothered about the quantity of final particle in a particular mix?
No,
Are you
it is
addressing
binary.
your dosage with respect to your final particle factor?
No, by virtue of, though we are going for FDR, whatever the reclaimed material we are encountering, we have to work out with that material only.
No.
That's why.
No, I have
not answered. That question is not answered. I think
I have a question.
If you want to.
All service providers, see, the question is whether we should use cement plus additive. Okay. As she said, when we are using cement, okay, you are giving some life the guarantee. Okay. With the addition of your chemical.
Yes, sir.
What is the additional life or what is the additional advantages which you can guarantee?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
How will you answer that question?
Yes, sir. For that matter, in the whatever the chemicals are available in the market, the whatever the strength has given by the cement, that strength the chemicals will hold for a design period.
How do you guarantee that? Okay. Incident question that arises, I think wait. You have to wait. The incident question that I am asking the service provider is that will you guarantee performance of 10 years? Yeah. What is that guarantee you'll give? Will you reconstruct the payment? Yeah. I have given that in writing. Given writing. They will reconstruct or what is it? Yeah.
We have done a trial with and without stabilizer. So there was no much difference in the strength. 4% cement we have done with stabilizer and without stabilizer during our trial.
Yeah.
Strength, there was no difference. Durability, I don't know. Means we didn't check the durability.
Ask them to do a real test in the road, like how we have done in NAD. We have done that sample in NAD. You can all visit that road. Similarly, take a road, do only with cement, and then prove us.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Yes, I fully thank you. Yeah.
Sir, this is like.
Wait.
Sir, we are going into this stage that it is like a stabilized road, but this is actually like acting as one of the layers, the structural layers. So we need to come up with some more, though it is not a performance based mixed design, but we have to come up with some more additional measures rather than the strength alone, because I have also been working with different gradations which can attain the same strength, but the performance are completely different. So some other additional simple performance test methods should also be incorporated into.
Yes. Need to be developed.
Yes. Otherwise, this will go with the strength-based, stability-based measure.
To add what you have been telling, it should be considered as a payment component
layer. Yes.
Yeah.
Then only whether we need a stabilizer or not can be answered at this point.
Many projects work with cement alone. I can show that also. So not that it's not working. This four. Yeah, so it's working. I don't say that it not work or something. You have done something also. I agree with that. But finally, what I'm asking the academic institution is that they should monitor the performance of these roads. Then let us come with a number. Then we'll accept.
Sir, I'll connect with this concrete. So we have M25 concrete, there is a mixed design, there is a procedure. In that also we are adding chemical admixtures.
Because stabilizer admixture is
It is
different.
acting rejuvenating the strength and water resistant. So say you are not accepting into this road construction. Is it yearly, like we need here early strength?
Yeah, that's what we
Water resistant?
No, none of the service providers have convinced us that these are the benefits of adding the stabilizer. You have done something, it is working well. All these I agree. I don't disagree with that. Yeah, no, we have not come to the past. We don't know. Tell that you share some document. We'll be very happy to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, let me speak. As Professor Shyam Nair was telling in the morning session how the matrix forms. So this is to Professor Ranjan Kumar. So what do you think the contribution to the strength of the soil due to cement? What is the chemical magic happening?
Yeah.
So
But
my answer is
we do not know what is the magic.
no. Let me say, I am asking about cement only, not about any stabilizer. I'm talking about technically, academically. Being a research scholar,
Yeah. Even for one day, you talk.
Shyam Nair was explaining in the morning session. He told clearly that CSH gels formation, and yesterday in my discussion also I have clearly mentioned that. So the gel formation will contribute to the bonding of the particles. Is it right? So calcium silicate hydrate gels. So if a mineral additive, I'm adding a mineral additive which is rich in silicates, and I'm having calcium from the cement, I can form extra CSH gels which can refine the pores, and it is proved in the SEM analysis as well. SEM, scanning electronic microscopy analysis, and XRD studies as well. So it's there.
No, no.
Layer?
I'm not talking about soil particle or
without soil.
Yeah, without soil.
We are talking about FDR without soil. If you have soil,
No.
you have
I have mentioned particles. That may be soil or an aggregate.
Exactly. When you have soil, you have explained the process. That process of strength gain. If it is
No. It is
achieved adequately with
It is applicable to the soil as well as the aggregates. I'm talking about the matrix formation which can bond the particles.
Yes, that
I would
matrix-
define particles, not a soil or an aggregate.
that matrix formation, if it is done by cement, then why we need your additive?
That's what I'm telling.
No. Wait. You are right. But why we are telling is, what we are asking is, why we have to go for additional? Where you are quantifying that I need this additional bond formation?
Yeah.
Exactly. Answer that.
Exactly.
That is what we are asking. Exactly. Answer that. Why you are suggesting that this additional?
The cement alone is able to give me the needed strength. What is that magic?
Sir, strength alone is the not criteria. As we are talking about durability is the criteria. Retaining of the skin.
You are also suggesting the same criteria. Have you given any other criteria?
Durability.
Same,
Retaining of the
we are
strength.
doing also durability with cement.
No, we can.
We are also doing durability with
No,
cement.
it's already proved durability enhancement is there.
Fine. Agreed. Anil.
Yeah.
Sir, we have done lab studies on PMGSA roads, which is having sufficient crust thickness, and that lab result, along with cement, we got better results in durability as well as in the strength parameters.
So we are not convinced.
I think
that
Amrita can elaborate on that. He has done this work.
Because with cement alone, or also we are able to meet the durability criteria.
Even we have added the stabilizer also, but not naming the stabilizer, but it is.
So that is exactly what Arun also mentioned. What he
Is there any improvement in the durability? Do you mean that?
Yes.
Along with cement, it has got better durability results.
There are many ways to answer this question, saying that without stabilizer also the durability criteria is met.
And I would like to ask the result. What is the percentage loss?
You can put many hands on rice.
What is the percentage loss in material with cement and with cement?
the limit of 13.4%.
I'm not asking about the limit. What is the value? Exact value.
Exact value I cannot remember, but I can say this.
No. That value plays the key role.
Yeah,
That value plays the key
second
role.
say. That's
Within the
my
limit,
report.
meaning, see, we have a limit up to 14%, depending upon the soil, 10%.
Yeah, I'm coming to the point. So, finally, the
We like to know the values.
is that, wait.
Yes, sir.
What finally boils down to that, should we add soil or not? FTR does not need soil to be added in all cases. In such cases, how does it play the magic? That's what we are now talking about. So when you do not have a soil, do not have fines of the soil, then how does it improve the stability, durability? This is what we are talking about. So what we conclude is that if there are no soil, cement alone can play the required role. That is what we are now coming to the point. You can come out with the equations, convince that all that we can do that subsequently. At this point of time, what we have learned is, and what they have practiced is that even with FDR, with cement alone, it's working fine, both in the laboratory and the field. I think Shyam Nair can give a number of examples of the field also. So that's the point. Okay, coming to the next point. There's no end. If you are, we will not go back. Number of questions are there. I am coming to the point. The next question is that what crack relieving layer is best for SAMI? What is to be done? Do minor cracks affect the durability? Can somebody answer? Do cracks affect the durability? Yeah.
So the different crack retarding layers, what we discussed was an aggregate crack leaf layer. And the next one was SAMI. And today, I think Sir was talking about micro cracking. Now, the thing is, so if you're looking from the perspective of, suppose it's the bituminous concrete, if it cracks and water starts seeping in, which of the crack retarding layers will act as a drainage? Now, I agree that the aggregate crack leaf layer, whatever we are putting, is a wet mix macadam. It will have, in comparison with a GSB, this has slightly reduced permeability. So if I compare an aggregate crack leaf layer and a SAMI, with respect to the FDR layer thickness, sections incorporating aggregate crack leaf layer will have lower FDR layer thickness. In terms of permeability, your wet mix macadam, which is providing above, will provide some amount of drainage. And if you're thinking about the recyclability of this FDR pavement, a section incorporating a SAMI membrane, which is a geosynthetic, your recyclability of this pavement later would be a challenge. So I would actually recommend for aggregate crack leaf layer.
Any other question? Any answer from any other agency? Yes, about SAMI layer or any other micro cracking? I think at this point of time, a lot of research has to be carried out. Either you can go in for a SAMI layer or an aggregate interlayer. I am asking one more question incidentally that has come that has not been answered is that if the section FDD test fails after the number of passes, what should you do? Will you accept, reject, or what will you do?
We will reject it and we have to go again for the trial. Definitely we are checking it during the trial section. And in trial section, so far we have executed more than 405 were failed. And we have gone for the reconstruction of that patch. Cracks and density test. We conduct each and every test in that trial test.
Okay, instead of question, one more question that can FDR be used for kill roads?
Definitely it can be used, but we have not gone for it. So practical experience will not be there. Whatever I can answer, it can be made.
From based on Northeast?
Yes, sir, it can be used on hill roads. I just want to add on that FDD. FDD, if they are comparing with the laboratory density and failing a section, I don't agree that quality control. They should have compared the FDD obtained from a control strip for that corresponding section and then reject based on density. If it is cracking means it is not only the issue of FDD. It might be because of your dosage variation, aggregate gradation variation, or you would have compacted after 2 hours. So FDD should not be used as the only criteria to accept or reject.
Agree. Yeah.
Actually, I would like to answer, add something. We are not rejecting only on the basis of the FDD. There may be so many reasons. From starting from subgrade, JMF, doses, as you mentioned. So definitely we are suggesting if contractor is confident enough regarding JMF, and we discussed this with the institution who has prepared the JMF. If both are confident, then they can go for the doing the work. Otherwise, new JMF required. And we test the density for comparing in the field also. Thank you.
Thank you. I think the other question that has been posed is that how do you manage the traffic during the FDR process at the site? how traffic is managed during construction.
Actually, we will have to do into two parts. Means one side we will have to do FDR, then we will have to leave for curing for 7 days, and after that we will have to do it. Means
Okay.
Alternative layers we will have to do.
Okay. I don't know who has posed that question. Anybody? Any further question you need?
3.75 meter road, not possible to also do in the halfway. Sir.
Yeah. Yeah, correct.
In village road, there is no scope for that kind of a route also.
Yeah, right.
Right, sir?
Yeah.
So you have to live with it.
Yeah.
Only answer is you have to live with it. There is no chance of doing anything. You have to live with the traffic.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, sir. You can minimize it, do nothing about it, sir.
Well,
8.56 you can do it, sir.
well, definitely you cannot stop the traffic. And because of this only, we suggested to the contractor after doing few work that first you prepare the subgrade with the shoulder so that sufficient width available for the public who are going to the village. And during construction of the work, we put barriers not to move on the stabilized layer, but there should be some way to go the local public. Otherwise, they may disturb.
I have a doubt. Means whether we will have to provide the prime coat over FDR. Means shall we provide prime coat or tack coat? Because penetration is not happening in the case of FDR.
But even then, the prime coat has been mentioned in the IRC on a cementitious layer also. Yeah. Now, but his question is that when primer does not penetrate into a stabilized layer, why are you applying prime coat? The prime coat is supposed to hold all the loose particles together. It has to penetrate 10 millimeter and then make it waterproof. And then you should enable the next bituminous layer to bond. Yeah, that's exactly he's asking the question.
That is what means our agreement.
So what do you propose in UP? Do you propose prime coat and tack coat or only tack coat?
Yeah, we are using prime coat and tack coat both.
But whatever you call it as it will not penetrate, eventually it will penetrate.
Sir, okay, sir. Over that we are giving again bituminous layer with SAMI.
Tell again.
Sir, prime coat over that we are again giving a bituminous layer with SAMI. SAMI we are providing SAMI.
Yes, that's
SAMI is again a bituminous layer.
Yeah.
Then again over that we are giving tack coat.
Yeah.
So you are having 3 layers of bitumen.
That's a prime coat, tack coat, SAMI layer, tack coat, and BC. That's what he's asking the question.
Sir, we place a prime coat. See, what is the practice I will tell you. They place a prime coat, which is actually have at a dosage of 0.7 kg per m square. Above that, they spread the geosynthetic. Above that, they spread tack
He's
coat.
telling that's a tack coat below the SAMI layer.
No. I think prime, then geosynthetic, then tack.
That's that.
No. Not.
Yeah.
But the question is conventionally when you use a prime coat, if it is an unbound granular layer, the prime coat tend to penetrate.
Yes.
Now here is whether we require a prime coat.
Yes.
Whether we require a prime coat. It is only for adherence of the geosynthetic with the stabilized layer. So you can go for a tack. Because your prime coat will never penetrate. It's an invert emulsion what you're using as a prime coat.
Yeah.
Specification what we are saying is prime coat 0.7 kg per square meter. Over that we are providing bitumen with 1 kg per square meter. Over that we are providing geosynthetic. Over that again we are adding tack coat.
Yeah.
So whether it is required or not.
That's the question. Anybody who can answer it.
Bituminous layers are coming.
Yeah.
One means we can avoid.
Theoretically is not required, but practically what the code specification, that's what we have to find out. I will clarify that point. I don't have the answer for this point at all. There's the next question. Yeah. Now we should make it very clear. When we mill the pavement for FDR construction, it means we disturb the beneath layer and also the layer we cannot compact practically. Is that disturbed or uncompacted layer? Will that disturbed or uncompacted layer, will it not affect the performance of the FDR?
It will definitely affect if the underlying layer is under compaction or it gets disturbed during reclamation.
But I think with the fat foot roller being used, even the disturbed layer should get compact.
Yes, that is the reason. That's why they're emphasizing on the
25 to 30 centimeters.
25 to 30 centimeters.
Okay. What is the defect liability period or the ongoing contract agreements of FDR? 5 years. 3 to 5 years. If somebody has asked a question, the answer is 3 to 5 years.
So in UP, it is 5 years.
Okay. For NH project, what is 5 years?
Sir, sir, there are 9 roads under pilot project. They are having 10 years DLP, and the rest is 5 years.
So you can increase the defect liability. So now that based on experience, if you have 5 years, then make it 10 years. Okay. 9 projects are there, 5,000 kilometers, but they'll extend it now. They'll extend. Pilot project. Every project becomes a pilot project.
Sir, Viragan sir, it is only, it is the 10-year duration DLP is given for non-accredited stabilizers. If that is the case, it is acceptable, and that is acceptable only for pilot projects. In actual projects, it is not. So that is why 5 years and 10 years. So if you are using a non-accredited product for your construction works, it is allowed in your pilot projects. If you are using it in a pilot project, then the DLP period for that particular case would be 10 years. Once you pass into your actual construction, non-accredited stabilizers are not at all allowed. So the option was given initially so that some new manufacturers get an opportunity to showcase their project in your active project. And by the time it comes to the next phase, you can get an accreditation for that. So that is why 5 years versus 10 years comes in. Dubeji, if I'm right.
You are not using any of these products.
If we are using all the products.
No, if you are not, no, the question is, if you are not using any of these products, what will be your liability period?
What is the not DLP for any new road?
See, whatever the professor has answered, we have made a committee and we go through these papers. They should have accreditation, number one. Number two, initially we decided for a pilot project, and now no work is there as a pilot project. So whoever is coming, additive company, they have to give their papers for accreditation, number one, and then for the rest work which they have executed. And if it is satisfying, we allow for the use in road. Till date, we have 9 additives which are being used in UP.
What the FDR experience? Yeah.
KRFB is giving only 3-year DLP period.
Can you not increase it?
No, for FDR project. Can you explain?
As per the contract, it is only 3 years.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can, for uniformity, for better quality of construction, you can increase the DLP period. Yeah.
PMGSP?
Yeah, fine, agreed. I would say that 5 years should be a defect liability, 5 years should be a maintenance contract. But maybe ideal, everybody will accept to that. Yeah, agreed. Not only for this. Yeah, I fully agree with that. Yeah.
Let me check, sir.
Right.
He's in charge of the project. Sir, KRFB 5 year. There is some doubt regarding that.
Yeah. What about your experience of FDR in Kerala? Happy, unhappy, okay, mid, what is that you are telling?
Sir, this is my first project in FDR.
Agreed.
So I'm learning, I'm trying to gain as much I can. And I think I have learned so many things from the people around this the seminar. And let me go and let me see what improvement I can do in our project.
I don't know whether you'll make it more tougher after this experience guide or so. Yeah. So find it's a white elephant now. It's difficult to manage. So many materials being used.
Maybe we supposed to tell something about that.
Oh, yeah.
Subgrade matter able to discuss.
Subgrade is, I don't know, that's what Suresh also had mentioned. Whether subgrade to be milled or not is a question, depending upon the distress that we have not been doing that. That's okay, but even then, on a soft subgrade, even if you put a steel plate, it will sink. So unless you improve subgrade, nothing will work. That's our final point. And when you mill a part of subgrade as a component layer of the FDR, the balance of subgrade that is left out is lesser. With the result, I do not know how it will work. I have my own reservation concern about that.
So then what will you put?
Yeah.
As sir said, what will you put?
I again will mill it and do it. That's
See, the thing here is not empiricals. Conventional.
See, we are going away from the conventional things which we have been teaching. We have to test the soil subgrade and find the strength or not. I mean, there is no design being adopted here. It's purely, it's purely empirical.
That's what we come to only 4.5 to 7 MPa UCS, and then finally we are coming out with the stabilizer. That's what we are going. But there is no science behind the engineering. That's what I want academic institutions to study that and come out with the results. I think it's a good learning experience. They have test tracks where they can evaluate, test, and then learn the process. Yeah. I think that is why I strongly believe that technology providers should work closely with academic institutions so that we understand the science behind the engineering. Yeah.
Sir, I think we are the ones who spent lots of money and time right from the beginning under the guidance of Viragwan sir. And for you to answer, sir, Guru Vittal sir, they have done 3 years, 3.5 years studies for 3 roads. One is Krishnapatnam Road, which has the highest traffic, which is as the seaport. And it's got various reclaimed land, sea land. They themselves have conducted, before taking up our project, they have done the tests just with the cement. They have done the test with this additive. They have defined, what is the role that is playing, the durability or the strength, whatever, from their perspective. And then they recommended, and they came back and asked, what is the magic in this? We would like to talk to the principals. And then we would like to know what is the ingredients in that. We tried, but we never could get it. And again, we came back, Viragwan sir, they themselves have conducted at IIT Madras too. Even in that report, they do have the clear parameters defined just with cement and with additives. And then later on, sir has taken that up for the international seminars. And then, and we are very thankful to sir. We in fact was selected as one of the best topics, and then it's been awarded. And then the journal from Springer has been published under sir's guidance. And then, and then we went back.
In all the studies, what Kunchiri has been telling is that we have added, we found it's optimal, we have constructed that. But what is that chemical reaction, the other process that is doing, that again has to be studied. He told about the SEM images and all are there.
This is what happens, sir. So once we again went back to the north, and then they said, we want an IIT from the north to do the tests, not from the south. I said, well, what is the difference between this thing, IIT Chennai, IIT Madras, because we are from Germany, and then IIT Chennai has evolved because of German. Because of the German technology, they have come, and then that time they have started the institute, this premier institute. And then they said, no, we want from the north, because of delta T temperatures, there's a lot of variations in the north. And then IIT Roorkee have done extensive studies. We had 4-year studies. The amount of money we are spending even today, even at IIT Mumbai, IIT Hyderabad, IIT Chennai, and sir referred to IIT Delhi with Rajab Malik sir. And we are interacting with so much. We have the state-of-the-art facility in Europe. And then today we are in a position after sir's so much of encouragement. We are giving analysis designs to the international standards, even in the Middle East. and into the Europe nations also. And we have done single-handedly the complete design, in-house design for the Hyderabad GMR International Airport. And then we have done for the Goa International Airport also, which was opened very recently by Modi ji. And then we are also doing, given the recent, from the Mumbai Metro, Metro Depot. All this is because of the knowledge we have gained in the past 6 years. And sir, if there was no the role of additive, if we still believe that we are fools, we are spoiling ourselves. We are
No, we are not telling that nobody is a fool or anything. Is that how does the reaction, improvement in strength, durability, performance is taking place? You have to explain that with facts, figures, reports.
In NIRD, we encountered.
No, we know that. We have done. We have.
150
We fully agree.
WBM stone.
I have also seen everything. I also know that it's performing well. We agree with that. But what we are telling is that you have to share with us the reports which scientifically explain.
That's been done at Turkey.
Yeah. No. Roorkee also, I have seen the report. There's nothing in the Roorkee report. Don't tell about the Roorkee report in future. Don't tell about that. I've seen that. So, but all in the reports I have seen. No. What I want request is that you have got it from Germany. Get any international specifications. I have done it.
Yeah.
See, I have also tested. Our world is a small world. We are all only very small. Okay, doesn't matter. But what we are trying to understand and explain to this community is that how does it react? What are the benefits of using that? Cement alone will not work. This is added value. This is what we want to know with facts, figures, reports. That's what
you can also get information from Andaman. You can talk.
No, all that are okay. We have been working on the performance. I have no doubt about the performance.
And the roads which are done with our product, it's a clear.
Yeah. Yeah. No. We want to understand, as a teacher, as an academician, we want to understand the science behind that engineering.
Sir,
all the material to you. No. Yeah, that's what we'll do it. Yeah, and at the same time, not only material, you fund the research also. Yeah, that's exactly what that is exactly what we want.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah, fine. Yeah, finally agree. Finally, that's what we want. No, so far.
Everybody is witnessing.
Yeah.
We are fighting for some.
Yeah.
We are trying to do something.
Yes. No. So far, no service provider. Wait. So far, no service provider has come to academic institution to understand the science behind engineering. They all have come only for a mixed design with the stabilizer. But what I'm telling is, you give R&D. See, you gave this different. I never collected 1 rupee also. I did that. That's a different issue.
Research reports in the coming years. You don't know how much money we're spending on.
Yeah. No.
The seriousness what we are taking.
Yeah, fully. That's what I'm telling. That this forum, let this forum enable you to fund research. We want service providers to fund research. Yes, fine. That's exactly what I want. I fully appreciate your initiative, interest that you have. I think you want to tell something.
Sir, we want to know if FDR can be used and it can provide predefined FRLs.
That is a different question to be answered. That not in this forum. We'll discuss that separately.
Okay.
So, any other question from the audience about the FDR? Any doubt that you have? You want to ask questions? You're free to ask questions.
Excuse me, Viran sir.
Yes.
Actually, I have not done too much of work in this area, but I would like to
Use the mic.
Sir. And they had asked us to study it scientifically. So what we did is that we added that stabilizer in different dosages, and we found out, we did an XRD analysis on the specimen different period of time, like 7 days, after 14 days, and we found out what kind of new compounds are being formed. Maybe this is the way in which we can proceed, and we can test the different types of stabilizers that are available and try to understand it scientifically.
It's not only just improvement in strength. Finally, we need a matrix. This is the type of soil, this is soil properties, this is aggregate properties, aggregate composition, different dosages of chemical, what is happening, how the strength gain is taking place, what is its durability, what is its fatigue life, what is the life cycle cost. I'm looking at the right, they are very happy to fund projects. I wish that every institute take at least one stabilizer for that matter, do research, and then we come out, maybe the next time when we meet, perhaps we will be coming with facts, figures, numbers, and how it is taking place. And that is the learning experience. That's what we are looking for as an outcome of this workshop.
Sir,
Yeah.
what is the curing period for SAMI and curing period for the FDR layer?
It will be laid immediately. No, yeah, immediately. Immediately, yeah.
Immediately we can do the tack coat and we can do this.
Yes.
Okay, curing period for the FDR layer?
FDR normally, I would say that
Minimum 7 days. Minimum 7 days. And it should be covered after testing the required strength which we have asked for. Till that time, it will be cooked.
How much it can be exposed to the atmosphere?
When
that FDR layer.
No, FDR is not a bearing course. So when you allow the traffic, there are a lot of wear and tear will take place, dusting will come out. So it as quickest possible time that you can do a blacktop. It can be within for 28 days. If you can do it, it's happier. Yeah. Yeah.
No, sir, one of the questions, like, if cement would have been so wonderful, then why that cement alone is now being heard? Why it has not been used and the distress roads have been repaired using cement?
Agreed.
Yeah.
See, the question is that this is being dictated by the service provider to construct all this time.
Not dictated,
Now,
sir.
The agency has not come forward of it their own. They should have done a homework, studied with the cement alone, and then they could have come to others. But that is not.
Cement alone for last 60, 70 years since independence probably would have been tried. It would have been tried. Yeah. But the chemical is what?
No. Talking in all the cases. Sir, Andaman, we have done almost 70 kilometers. We have done with cement, without cement also. And whatever we have done with cement, with the same supervision, with same academic interest, all the papers, research, everything has been done. But the performance of with cement and without cement, it is proven in Andaman. He can fund you, we can take all of you there, you can come and study. No. Okay, sir. Yeah. I think now we have argued and maybe I will stand between the academics and between the service providers. Okay. Sir, I'll speak. So, yes, I understand. I understand. Okay. Yeah, correct. Working properly. With all the academic shades. If it was working properly, you wouldn't have gone for an alternate. Okay, fine. I fully agree that technology should come, new technology should come. We should explain that one. My suggestion is, anyway, you are at least in Kerala, a couple of projects are already started and you are doing that one at 3 stretches in Kerala. Now, NHA, we have some projects with the KIIFB, maybe MDR or a state type. And PMJC also, there are roads are there. We want to have various technologies here. Okay, as Professor mentioned, would like to have conventional design. We can have small stretches with the cement alone. We can have lesser stretches with the cement plus additives. Okay, and we are there. At least NATPAC is there with few people. That we will monitor starting from the design stage to the construction, and we will study the performance. Probably over a period of time, from 5 years to 6 years, we'll be in a position to tell what is the difference from the conventional to the cement alone to the modified. Okay, for that we need the support of the industries. Okay, and definitely we'll be the bridge between the provider and the academic discipline. Okay, I too strongly feel that one. It should go beyond the laboratory experience. Okay, laboratory you can do many the experiment, but when you are going to the field, lot of other practical difficulties are. I agree with that one. I accept that one, and we'll be there with.
I think, sir, with your permission, I think the academicians should come up with very frequent amendments to IRC, sir. They need to.
It's a different ball game.
Sir. Need to come up with those and then recommend to the government. Otherwise, the practicality. You should come and then know the practical.
See, I am from an academic institution, and I happen to go through more than 90 FDR DPRs. Okay, in 90% of the DPRs, the cost of additive is more than 50% of the FDR cost. Okay, now my concern is, if I can avoid the additive, I can save 50% of the FDR cost. Okay. Right, please. So if the technology providers have conducted the tests, have evaluated the various additives, and if those results can be passed on to us. Sir is asking about the mechanism and all the things. I am not asking even the mechanism. Should tell us that if this additive is added, this much improvement will be there. Whether it is with respect to the UCS or with respect to the durability or whatever it is, if it is there, right? That will help us again. If you take the defect liability period, some people are saying 3 years, some people are saying 5 years, some people are saying 10 years. So for 3 years or something like that, whether we need the additive. Okay, please. Remember that no experiment can be conducted in the field without understanding its behavior in the lab. Never think that we can directly do it in the field without understanding in the lab. Let us not be there. We want only, what we want is the quantitative, right, details of the results that are conducted. Don't say that this performs better, this performs better. No, not that one. The quantitative results, right? With the significance of the improvement also explained. Without additive, I get 4. By adding additive, I get 4.2. There's an improvement. But is it statistically significant? That also has to be checked. Okay. I have taken just 4 and 4 points. That's nothing to do with the UCS or anything like that. Right. So this is one that. Then another, because I'm looking from the field point of view also. Right. Now the existing road is a 3 meter. Now we have to widen to 3.75. So as it is there in the field itself, directly we do the shoulder material also we take it. Right. Now what is being done in the design stage? Whether the shoulder material is also considered the design stage or not. Whether the technology provider is advising the contractor to say you do like this. Say your road width is only 3 meter, but you have to provide for 3.75 meter. So you have to take the material from the shoulder portion also. At the design stage, which is done in the laboratory, whether the contractor is providing the shoulder material on the crest material or not. Whether technology provider, if technology provider advises like that, then it will be better.
So
these are some of the questions we have, because definitely understand that it is, I can say, because I attended only today's sessions, right? I had some questions before attending the sessions. Now my questions have multiplied after attending the sessions, right? So that is a more of this one that one has created in me. And somehow, whatever it is, we are going in for the FDR technology usage, right? I strongly feel that without completely understanding how this technology works, under different conditions, right, we are going in for it. On behalf of the academic institutions, I can say that we are ready to do any kind of a test you want to be done. No doubt in that one. In my institute itself, we have done the tests, not on FDR, but some other materials also. We are ready. But not necessary that they should be done in our institutes. Any other institute also can be done. But only thing is you share those results. Quantified results you have to be shared.
See, actually, we in UP have learned from the doing. We never had any suggestion from anybody, because everybody is saying, putting their own interest in additive, and all additives are good. That's why we have additive. What we have started with, we had roads of 3 meter, 3.75 meter, and out of 686, 180 roads are of up to 375, 3.75 meter, and the rest all 5.5. Stabilized layer was 5.65. What we did, we checked available crust for whole length of the road, minimum 1 kilometer each, and up to the depth of the subgrade to study the soil available. Number one. Number two, that time only with the availability of the crust, we came to know that how much crust will be available for the width of 5.5 road. So by doing back calculation, we came to know how much area of the shoulder is being used and what will be the depth there of the subgrade, or you can say, and in present case, shoulder. So and we made a change at the time of the getting JMF, the PIU should write, not contractor. PIU should write letter to the concerned institution to give JMF and ensuring that that portion of the soil should also accompany with the available material. And specifically, we came to know that available crust, I'm just giving example, if it is 20 centimeter and if we are spreading to 5.65, it will come around 11, 12 centimeter available. So here we are not going to disturb 11, 12, but we at the place of the widened portion, there it will be loose. So we know how much we have to go down because we have calculated the compacted layer. Loose layer will be slightly more. This was the one practice for getting JMF almost correct. After getting, initially we never knew how the doses were decided. So now we started saying 9 simulations should be there with 3 sets of cement percentage and the 3 to 3 additives and give us all the results. How you have selected one, we should know how you have selected that one particularly. We have started that initial few roads around 150 or 200 because this project was started in June and major contractors have started now after December. So we have improved ourselves. Whatever I'm saying for the government department because we have to keep a check for the speed also. So we allowed the contractors who have already got the JMF earlier, but all JMF, it was mandatory from the day one to execute the trial stretch. And trial stretch was mandatorily, it was given to the IIT or NIT, CRRI or NIIT. No other institution, no NABL lab could have done that. So that was another check at our level. Third, today I'm gathering a report of the all test. And we will make a paper of it and I can share after 2-3 months and that will guide you. We have checked few things like if it is going our requirement 4.5 to 7.7 UCS, if it is going beyond 7, so how much? This was the question. So we discussed with the panel of the professors and accommodation. Professor Nair is one of them, IIT, CRRI, and I think in few cases I have requested you also. So this is one. Number two, because we were confused. Earlier we were 100% confused, but today we have few results, so we can say what we have done. And again, trial patch. As earlier I said, it is you have to comply or you have to vet the JMF results here. Then only you can proceed. When they started the work, at certain level we saw the surface crack in 5 or 10 meters. It was a matter of concern for us. There may be, there could have been so many things. So what we thought, we should see and check subgrade also. Now it is mandatory to keep a check for the whole length for the subgrade which have been extended. The road which is existing, we have assumed that it is, because every road is more than 10 years. We have not selected any road less than 10 years. So definitely the density is there. But the portion which has been widened may not have that density. So we check that also now. And we are trying to improve whatever new things we will do and we will incur. Definitely I would like to share. what you have said. 9 simulation and testing is required and it has to be vetted at field. Thank you.
So may I add to that what sir was saying earlier about FDR, the cost of additive being more than 50% of the total cost of the project with FDR. Okay, cost of FDR itself. Now, in UP, as Dubey sir has already pointed out, there has been a significant decrease in the cost of the project per kilometer execution of road. They're saving on the cost overall for the projects as well. Also, the haulage cost, the carbon emissions, all of that, FDR being an old technology, as we've already discussed, it's not a new technology the world over. There are a number of tests available. I'm from LSR. We have AllPave as our commercial stabilizer. It's a very old product. It's a German product. We have international tests and everything that we can share with you. That is something that we've already submitted with IRC, and a number of other institutions have also tested it. And if my suggestion is, like Uttam Portal a software has been developed for UP for the FDR projects. If something similar on an academic level can be developed in Kerala, a software somewhere we can, as service providers, we can also share our experiences, our testing from world over, everything. I mean, that is the basis on which we've been accredited by IRC also. So addressing the question of why the need for a commercial stabilizer. So we can also share those studies and those results with you and take this research and on the academic side, we can take it forward. Also, we are already executing a project in Kollam, where we are executing FDR works in Kollam district. And we would like to invite all academicians sitting here, anybody who's interested to see how it is being done on the road. We can also discuss whatever problems practically we are facing on ground, not in the lab. In the lab, obviously, it's a very controlled environment. But on ground, what we are facing, maybe we can get some solutions from all of you. And you can also give us suggestions as to how we can improve it. Because as we've already discussed since yesterday, it's a developing technology. It is something that is still evolving, and all of us can work hand in hand in coordination with each other to make it more successful and better.
I do agree that it is a developing technology. We have to work together.
Thank you so much.
Then second thing is when we checked the cost of FDR with the conventional method, the cost with the FDR technology is more than the conventional technology in Kerala.
In
Kerala.
In UP, they've saved on the costs.
One thing, for Anjaneyar sir has said for FDR, 50% of the amount is coming for this additive. So I think we both all have to have a clear explanation why this 50% of amount additive and what is the result what we are obtaining. So there should be a clear cut explanation for the same. Because when we spend 1 lakh for this road without additive, and with additive, if the cost comes to 2, why we are spending money that we will have to.
Crossing the budget. We are within the budget.
That's a different issue. That's a different
not
issue.
within the budget.
Yeah. No, they had. I think we can discuss further individually how the project cost goes up. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
probably lesson of we'll prepare one separate. And I have seen that the UP comparison I have seen. Probably we'll prepare one for Kerala.
Yeah. I think this. Yeah.
Okay. They have prepared they have prepared a cost comparison. No, we also will do that one and we'll see how it can be. Okay. So thank you, Professor, for conducting such an active the session. Thank you so much. Only you only can do that one. Of course, then the good inputs it has come. Probably we will take all these suggestions or the proposals forward and then we'll do that.
Okay, I have one question. Right.
No, please.
That I have to get answer. I have to get answer. I have to get answer, sir. Because see, if the UCS it is said that 4.527. Right, when we do in the lab the design, I am getting 4.5. It passes, sir. But when the test is done in the field, it is 4.2. Whether it will be agreed or not. That no, sir. Whatever that we did, all the statistical tests we did. All the statistical tests we did. 4.2 is coming. 4.5 is required.
I
What will you
think
do?
yesterday when we presented, I asked the question, like, listen, almost all his values, it was going beyond 7.5. I don't know how it is getting. That's what.
No.
This
is a fact.
Every time it is going up. But I asked the question, listen, if it is going up, then whether anybody. Fine. That is. Okay, we'll answer. And we have to conclude. Okay, no. Take it forward.
Thank you all. Now we will have a feedback session from the participants, from the experts, everyone.
Sir, you have to come here now. Yeah, you have to take that. Okay. Come.
Now we will move on to the valedictory section. A warm welcome to all for the valedictory ceremony of two-day workshop on full depth reclamation technology organized by KSCSTE National Transportation Planning and Research Center NATPAC in association with Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board KIIFB. Our sponsors are AND Technology, LSR Infracon, Vishwasamudra Private Limited, Sidex, Matter Lab, VV Autotest Private Limited, D-Brains, Habog, and Hincall Limited. Now, we would like to invite Sri Rajivan T, Project Manager, KIIFB, Professor Dr. Kunjariya P. Isaac, Founder Vice Chancellor, APJ Abdul Kalam Technological University, and Sri Sanjay Kumar V.S., Principal Scientist, KSCSTE-NATPAC, to the dais. First of all, I would like to invite Sri Rajivan T, Project Manager, KIIFB, to welcome the gathering.
Good evening, everybody. Actually, it was a wonderful session which we had last 2 days. And when we came here, we were not aware of all these details and we had a fruitful discussion here. And at last, we are about to conclude the session. For that, we can invite our special guest, Kunjariya P. Isaac sir, to give some advices. Thank you.
So very good evening to all of you. I think all of you are eager to move out now because we have come already. It's 4:15. Yeah, I came in the morning, started attending the sessions. I understood what is FDR. So that is a good feedback, no? See, but I have a few things which I think most of you have, I'm not sure, at least some of you are of the impression that this is a new method which replaces all conventional payment designs. It is something which is a substitute for the conventional design of payments. And that is something wrong. This is only one method which has not been tested fully, which is still, I said, like it's an empirical method, which may get evolved over a period of time as one of the techniques. But what I have understood is that you are doing something for the sustainability of the materials, conservation of materials, reuse of materials. This is what we are going to achieve in this process of having using the materials which has already been used in the pavement so that we don't uh, have a problem of finding materials for construction. So this is the first point. Now the question comes in is that what we are trying to do in this process is very simple. We are trying to increase the strength of the granular layer. Am I right? We are trying to increase the strength of the granular layer. That's all what we are doing in this process. But in that process, now the question has arisen is that whether you use cement only or the additives which have been listed here, so many are there. And I still remember the way back in 2000 as a part of an MTech students project, I was guiding that we used the terracine. That was in 2000, 25 years back. And found that it is good in the laboratory. The CBR has jumped from 2 to 70, 80, 100, I don't remember. See, this is what, so there are something which, the question which has been asking is that whether this stabilizer which you use will work with the aggregates alone. That's the question. But with the soil, it may work. And that also depends upon the soil which you are using, whether it's required to be used or not. See, now the question here is that whether you can use it for national highways, whether you can use it for low volume roads or high volume roads. These are the questions. See, these are things which probably you will have to find answers. But whatever it is, whether you use a stress absorbing layer or something like that, membrane or something, is again a question which has to be looked in. Ultimately, my conclusion is that as a new technology, this is good to conserve the materials. This is some method which is used for conservation of materials, reuse of materials. And it's good to a certain extent. But we cannot replace all the roads by this method. That's not going to be a good idea. But you can, if in this process, if you are able to, this is something which you will have to do the mechanistic principles and find out whether the soil which is treated with these enzymes as a granular layer will improve your rutting and things like that. Whether in any case, it's not going to reduce the cracking. Am I right? It cannot reduce the cracking in the sense if it cracks itself by itself, that cracks will get up. No, if the layer gets cracked, I'm not talking about the cracking on the top layer. That layer, the reflection cracking problem will continue to be there. Reflection cracking problem, not talking about the other structural crackings. So this is a point which I have come to it. But one plus point I have found here. I'll tell you. You require only 3 months to complete the road. And you are completely mechanizing it. That's the second point. These are the two things which I found. One of the problems with the Kerala PWD and the Kerala system is that any project, the project completion period is 18 months or 24 months minimum, starting with 18 months. Whether you require 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months, minimum 18 months. The whole system is not functioning unless we change that. This is very high time that we change this. Yeah. See, this is what, that I agree. See, even if you don't have a major bridge on the road, that is not going to be there in any case, most of the cases. It's only culverts. Are we using, definitely. So there has to be something which you have to work it out so that the duration of the contract has to be reduced to what is required. I don't say 3 months. But for this FDR, I found that it is 3 months. Yeah. the second advantage which I wanted to tell you is that what in Kerala, none of the low volume roads have failed structurally. They have failed functionally. Am I right? Maybe some roads, maybe local roads where which leads to a quarry or something, it would have failed. Otherwise, none of the roads in Kerala have failed, right? Now, you are adding a superior bituminous layer, which is a bituminous concrete, on top of your FDR, right? Which will increase the life of the pavement functionally. That is a major change which you are bringing in this process unknowingly. Right? Yes. So the whole, don't bring in all the things to the FDR, the credit to the FDR. The credit goes to the bituminous layer. In Kerala, I don't know about UP. In Kerala, because we don't have any commercial traffic on these roads, it will be 1 MSA, 2 MSA maximum. So this is something which you cannot, your performance doesn't depend upon the FDR. Your performance depends on the bituminous concrete layer. Yeah, riding quality. Functional deterioration of the bituminous concrete, the deterioration rate is low. That is the thing. So if you put everything together, we have got to really make an assessment. What you do is, see, even if you pay more, if you can bring down the construction period, you save a lot of money in that process also. But you have to plan it. Now, see, if these things are experimental things which you have to bring into the system, wherein the Public Works Department or KIIFB or whoever is the implementing agencies will have to bring in such meritorious things like reduction of contract period, use of appropriate technology, conservation of materials. You cannot value it. I'm not worried whether it is costing more or not. It's not going to matter. Unnecessarily, you cannot spend money. As Anjanil, you said, you cannot pay. That is not the issue. Even if the cost is more, if you are bringing in a sustainability factor into the whole system, it should be used. Because that, when you start doing it over a period of time, the cost will come down. All these people, now they are marketing it at low volume levels. They will increase the volume, the price will naturally come down. Maybe that, because now that they're only funding. So why don't we go in for a new system of something like an EPC where they design, they construct, they maintain for 10 years or whatever it is. Then we should have contracts like that. Yeah, that's what, this is forum. Yeah, that's what. So this is something which a change will have to be brought into the system wherein it's design, construct, and maintain it for a period with a defect. Yeah, that will bring in, and among these people, there will be a competition of whatever they use it. So if we will have to use such kind of changes, see, change requires, and if you can bring in these changes, we will be able to achieve better roads for Kerala. So the other point is that, see, I told you that in 2000, I did it for Apurva, this terracine project. He did not pay me anything at that time. But that is not the case. But today, you will have to associate with the institution. There's a cost involved. We will have to bring in those points, because otherwise, if there is a collaborative work which if we can happen together, then this will be a stepping stone for bringing new materials. See, in any case, what I wanted to, I've been discussing with Shyam in the morning is that we will have to find out because there is a dearth of the materials which we use for the existing payments, flexible payments like aggregates, bitumen, cement, whatever it is. Yes, that is a major problem today in Kerala because this M-Sand is a contribution which I have done to the industry. Yeah. So now it's not available. So now we have got to bring in a new flexible material which is made of question mark. I don't know. You have to come out with a new material. Don't think that it is a problem of chemistry. It's a problem of the transportation engineers. We have to change. We have got to move from the conventional thinking that our problem is only traffic flow theory and payment design. No, we have got to step into the area of materials. Research into the materials to find the new materials which is flexible as well as it has more rigidity or strength or whatever, compressive strength, tension, flexible, all those flexural strength, everything it should have. So if we can bring in, I was told last week that the plastic waste is being converted into rocks. Plastic waste is being converted into rocks. I don't know how it's being done. I mean, there are so many techniques. So like that, if we can use the conventional materials into, the waste materials into, put into a correct usage, we will be able to achieve better this one. So I think I don't want to, no, I think this is good enough for the, for the day because you have listened to, a series of talks, no? Series of discussions. And I thank Dr. Sampson and his team for giving me an opportunity to be part of this, it's a good event. A lot of discussions have happened. People have, it may not be that you might not have come to a conclusion, but the strength is that that is a strength. The strength is that if you can derive your own conclusions, you have asked several questions, right? Nobody has given correct answer. But now it is your turn to derive your own answers based on the interactions. Then we have achieved something. That's what I would say, Samson. This is something, that is the new kind of education system, creativity. Now, please listen, if you can create your own conclusion, you can come to your own conclusion based on what kind of interactions have happened. You can come to a conclusion that it can be used for national highway, it can be used for PMGSY roads, low volume roads, high volume roads. It can be used as a material. Whatever it is your own thinking, your own conclusion. Don't get biased by either the opinion of the academician or by the opinion of the service provider. Yeah.
Choose the academician. I think we need to choose the real person who has a lot of practical knowledge and then wide varieties of knowledge so that we can do pan-India. Because we are facing this situation just like Vera was said. For example, when I take a report from one of the IITs, they say, you don't want this report in that IIT. You have to do from this IIT.
I just give you an answer to that. See, if you agree to what somebody else says, see, somebody said the globe, the world is round. Somebody said it's flat, long back. There were those who followed, both were there. So, no. So my answer to this is, that's what I said. Everybody has become a creative person today, an innovative person today. Today onwards, you are a creative person, you are an innovative person. So they will decide whether the earth is flat or round. The sense whether this is good or that is bad. See, the purpose of education is to make a person innovative and creative today. That's what the new education policy, the National Education Policy 2020 envisages. So they have to decide, they will take a decision based on the discussions we had, whether this is good. Further, they will continue to do the research to find out whether their hypothesis, what they have come to the conclusion, will come true or not, for which you will provide the sample, you will provide the assistance, you will interact with them, and then make a better code of practice comes out of the whole discussions, right? So wish you all the best to be interactive, to be innovative and creative in making your decisions, and wish you all the best. And so that we have better perpetual roads, which is 50 years, which can last. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Dr. Samson Matthew, Director, NATPAC, to hand over the memento to Dr. Kunjaria P. Isaac as our token of gratitude and love.
Authority in the payment engineering that time. Okay. And why she didn't introduce the problem? Okay. So that is one thing. Second, fine. No, he is a student of Professor Gesto. I don't know, probably you heard about the Kanda and Gesto book. Okay, that was the graduation, undergraduate level lesson book. Normally will teach for highway engineering students. Okay, and Professor happened to be the student of Professor Gesto and Veeraraghavan sir. Of course, Veeraraghavan sir was the main guide. Okay, fine.
Actually, see, I was working in College of Engineering, Trivandrum as a faculty member. One day, Dr. Veeraraghavan actually happened to be 1 year junior to me in IIT Madras. So he called me and said, "Are you coming to do research?" I said, "Yes." So I took loss of a leave from here for 2 years and then went to Bangalore University to do the research. Actually, since I was on a loss of pay, the secret is that I was working in a project called mixed traffic flow, accidents, for which I was getting some small money to put me into. And then because I don't get any salary here, then I had to depend on my wife's salary at those days, right? But then I worked on that project to get the money, but I did a different problem for my PhD. The problem for PhD was different. My problem for the project was different. So I was working concurrently for 2 projects. And then it happened. So I gained all this. So though I worked in traffic simulation and traffic flow theory, and then I worked in the accidents, but then I gained more exposure to payment engineering from in those. So I could become, this is something where when you go to a good institute where you have good professors, good professors make the difference. That is something which we have to understand. Good professors make. So I could get all the 3 areas, the expertise. And that is something which, because I worked in accidents project, I did my PhD in traffic flow simulation and things. And then I got more exposure than all these 2 areas is on payment design.
Okay, that is the history. I don't know how many of you have visited Bangalore University. If you are getting a chance, please visit. Because those days it was, you have the test track, everything is there. Okay. And of course, that is his PhD background. Then he was the principal. He was the director of technical education in Kerala. Then he became member secretary, All India Council for Technical Education. Then he came back and he was the first founder, vice chancellor of Kerala Technical University. Okay. So with a lot of experience, and beyond that one, he was the STA coordinator, State Technical Agency coordinator of the PMGSU in Kerala. Okay, and now that he is relatively free and supporting a NATPAC. Okay, and I wanted to answer you. In fact, listener, you are posing so many questions to the browser. Now I'll tell you. See, you have test beds are available now across the country. Okay. And probably, listener, you can conduct the performance evaluation. And that is a document. Is it not?
Major reports what we have. Major reports what we have are all either from Guruvital sir or after Veeraraghavan sir. And the IIT Roorkee, the reason why we went was when we went and showed IIT Chennai report, they said, we don't look at this. That's the reason why we went. And now sir is telling, don't talk about IIT Roorkee. I'm going, I don't know what to answer. Which IIT sir go?
No. See, why you are you should guide us. We are, see, here, you have background like the 5,000 plus kilometer is already there.
Sir, my only contention is this, sir. It is up to all the stakeholders whether you want to take this forward or not. The reason is worldwide, last year we have touched 8,000 kilometers. Our market in India is just 2%. The reason I'm feeling ashamed to tell in the world market that we are just 2%, India being so big, and then as Veeraraghavan sir was telling, the second biggest network in India, and then we are facing so much hurdles. Why without cement? Why without this thing?
Take this technology forward. Don't worry. Okay.
Sir, I'm sure, I'm confident, additive is an addiction. This will take forward. I guarantee you this.
Thank you.
No, like Maharashtra has 80,000 kilometers of broken road. 80,000 kilometers. Conventionally, probably 2 generations down the lane will also not fix it.
Okay, we'll stop that listener discussion there probably. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I invite Sri Sanjay Kumar VS, Principal Scientist, KSCSTE-NATPAC, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all. It's high time that we say goodbye to each other. I know it's already late. Most of you would be eager to catch the trains. Anyway, first of all, let me express my apologies because the last 2 hours people had to sit in this sweating atmosphere, but I think that didn't prove to be so because of that warm discussion we had. Anyway, let me straight away go into the this out of tax delivery. First of all, let me thank the participants. We had almost 170 participants registered for this particular event across the departments, KIIFB, PWD, LSGD, various other service providers. So it was a huge response that I had to feel sorry because in the later moments we had to stop the registration because it was the response was so overwhelming. We had to stop the registration, and once that limit was crossed, we had to say sorry, please. We have stopped the registration. So that is there. So that participation that is ensured was very much uploading. And then, of course, my thanks due to because Shyam sir in his presentation today, he was the last slide he was showing was about that. If you remember that FDR train, the crucial component was the last thing, that is the money. And straight away, the sponsors which were here, and of course, with the great support from KIIFB, it was the most crucial thing that determined the course of this workshop. I would like to thank the sponsors, including KIIFB, like LSR Infracount, AVS Inno Infra, Vishwasamudra, Sidex Industries, Matter Lab, Devi Auto Test, Deep Brain, Sabo, Kingon. So thank you very much for the support that you have rendered. And we will see that this rapport should be continued so that the bridge can be more made fruitful. Let me thank the secretaries, honorable secretaries of PWD and LSGD, because they only helped us in so that we could get so much of nomination from the departments. Biju sir of PWD and Sharada Muralidharan madam and Shamla Mary Joseph madam of LSGD and other HODs of the various departments, so that the participation is ensured. Our resource persons in the last 2 days, they discussed so many things. Veeraraghavan sir, he actually was a mentor of this particular workshop itself, nurturing the program, how it could be trained, everything. So, of course, upon his guidance only, this was accomplished. Other resource persons, including Brijesh Dubey sir, Guruvital sir, Professor Anjan Kumar, Professor Vishnu, Professor Shyam Nair sir, and of course, Srimal sir from KIIFB. So they delivered their experience so that each of us could get something into this, some more knowledge into this FDR technologies. And of course, we invited our expert faculties from various institutes. Thankful to Anjanilu sir, Sunita madam, of course, Suresh sir, Tushara, Shivma sir, and Sarada ma'am. They actually made pain in coming over here and participated in the panel discussion also. And of course, our thanks are due to the Reka Club, which actually, in which we are sitting, a good ambience we had. And of course, some issue could be there. So that could be pardoned from our side. And we had 2 days over here. Our thanks to press and media who have been giving a good coverage of the event. Our event management team, NRG Events, who are providing the all the audiovisual supports. And finally, my thanks to the NATPAC team under the able leadership of Dr. Samson Matthews, sir, who was guiding us, leading us in all the aspects. We had some subcommittees formed, and all the committees were working because we had hardly 10 days to have this event. Hardly 10 in the last 10 days only. At least the service providers should know when our letters reach to you. And in a short span of time, we could arrange everything, and our team was supporting each and everything so that this is proved worthy. And I hope the inputs which we received, yesterday also Bara sir was telling about innovation. Today also, Kunjari sir as well as was telling about innovation as well as sustainability. We hope that the inputs taken by, especially by that implementing agencies are taken so that this is implemented. And finally, we are helping our mother nature so that the sustainability is ensured. So thank you all.
Thank you, sir. With this, we came to an end for the 2-day workshop on full depth reclamation technology organized by KSCSTE-NATPAC in association with Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board, KIIFB, sponsored by AND Technology, LSR Infracon, Vishwasamudra Private Limited, Sidex, Matter Lab, VV Autotest Private Limited, D-Brains, Habok, and Hincol Limited. Once again, thank you all for your participation and making the workshop a huge success. Wish you all the best. Thank you. Tea is arranged outside the hall. All are requested to